If you're an artist who's ever looked at your work and thought, something's off, but I don't know what, this video is for you. Because mastering composition is just like learning to walk, and unfortunately, most artists are still crawling. Think about how we all start out, lying on the floor, totally unaware that walking is even a thing. This is the first stage of learning. It's called unconscious incompetence. We don't know what we don't know, but soon we see others walking. We realize we're not doing that yet, so we try, pulling ourselves up, wobbling, falling. That's conscious incompetence. We know we're not there yet, but we're aware and we're starting to care. Now, this same thing happens in art. At first, we draw or paint without any awareness of composition at all. We're just creating. But then we look at our work one day and we sense something's off. We start hearing about concepts like balance or focal point. We don't really understand them, but we understand that it's important, and that's conscious incompetence in art. Now, as babies, we eventually take our first real steps, but every movement takes focus. We're now consciously competent. We're just putting one foot in front of the other, very focused on our balance. And it's the same thing in painting. We begin to understand composition, where to place shapes, how to guide the viewer's eye. We can see when something's off and make adjustment, but it still takes a lot of focus and effort. Now, eventually walking becomes second nature. We can run, jump, dance without even thinking about each movement. We've reached the stage of unconscious competence. And in art, the same thing happens. Composition becomes totally intuitive. We know what works without needing to stop and think and analyze every detail. But even then, we sometimes need to step back to the theory, look critically at our work, and use the theory to troubleshoot when something's not right. Just like an athlete uses film to tweak performance, an artist might need to revisit the fundamentals from time to time to fine-tune a piece. And the great thing is, when you reach this stage, this is where painting becomes truly joyful. It's like you're playing jazz. It becomes improvisational. You're not second guessing, you're responding to the canvas, one confident decision after another. And that's the power of reaching unconscious competence when it comes to composition. But here's the thing, most artists never get there. They rely only on their intuitive sense of composition. So when something's off, they don't know how to fix it. They make critical errors in the first few minutes of a painting. It can doom it to failure, or they often stop too soon when just a few tweaks could turn a good painting into a great one. And that's why learning composition matters. In the next part of this video, I'm going to walk you through some tools and exercises to help you move from conscious incompetence to unconscious competence. And once you're there, it's only a matter of time before composition becomes second nature, painting becomes a whole new kind of fun, and that's when you reach unconscious competence. But before we dive into the tools and exercises, I've got something that'll really help you fast track your progress. I'm giving away 5 free chapters of my new book, You Can Sell Your Art, and my compositional cheat sheet that breaks down the 10 most common compositional weaknesses I see, along with the remedies of how to fix them. So whether you're just starting out or you've been painting for years, these resources are designed to move you forward fast. You can grab everything at the link below this video. It's completely free, and it's the best way to deepen what you're learning here today. And if you really want to take your art to the next level, you can get my full color and composition course, which regularly priced at over $350 for just 49 bucks. Just click on the link in the description to access all of this amazing bonus training. Okay, now let's look at how you use the cheat sheet. And this is something I really want to stress because it's one of the biggest tragedies I see with artists. Far too many artists make critical compositional mistakes in the very first few minutes of a painting. They start off with a poor structure, not even realizing that the painting is already doomed to struggle. Then they spend days or even weeks pouring their heart into something that just isn't going to work. And it's not a talent issue, it's a composition issue. And that's exactly why I created my compositional weaknesses cheat sheet. I've identified the 10 most common compositional blunders I see over and over again, and I show you exactly how to fix them. And here's how you use it. Before you even start painting, grab your reference photo and just go down the list. For example, do you have 2 shapes meeting at a tangent? Well, if so, that's a red flag. You want to make a note that in your painting, you're going to need to shift those shapes so that they either overlap or they separate cleanly. Is there a strong horizontal or vertical line dividing the page right down the middle? That's another red flag. to fix, just crop your image so that that line lands on a third instead of the center. And these small changes can completely transform the strength of your composition. This stage is the most critical because here we're making decisions that can't be fixed or changed easily later on in the process. It's not easy to move a tree once you've finished a painting or to move where the horizon line is. So getting this stage right is critically important. For this next part, I really recommend using layout paper and different valued gray markers to do your value sketch. Now, if you want to get the markers and layout paper, but you don't have an art supply store near you that carries them, I've included an affiliate link below. And if you use that, I get a small commission that helps support the channel. So thank you for that. Now, once you've identified and addressed any of the issues, you're ready to start a small compositional study. Nothing fancy, maybe 4 inches by 6 inches, just a clean line drawing that lays out your major shapes. Think of it like the bones of your painting, and this should look almost like a coloring book line drawing. Then you're going to use a sheet of layout paper and tape it over top of your drawing. This stuff is great. It's translucent so you can see your drawing underneath, and it's specially made to accept the ink from design markers. And now you're going to create a value study. Using the design markers, you're going to test different combinations of just 4 to 5 distinct values: white, light gray, mid gray, dark gray, and a black. Try different versions, be bold, and then critique them using the cheat sheet. When you find one of the value studies that shows none of the weaknesses and has a strong value structure, that's now your roadmap for the final painting. Because we see value more than color, you can really be playful with color in your finished painting as long as you stay true to the values, and you'll still have a very strong composition. Now, I get it. This sounds like a lot of work, and most of you just want to dive in and start painting. But trust me, spending an hour up front doing this prep can save you days of frustration, and it gives you a huge boost in confidence knowing that the foundation is solid. And here's the best part. By going through this process consistently, something amazing starts to happen. These decisions start becoming second nature to you. You're building your compositional muscles, and gradually you'll notice that you're making the right choices automatically without even referring to the cheat sheet. And that's when you hit that magic zone of unconscious competence. Painting becomes expressive, exploratory, like jazz. You're not stuck wondering if it's working. You know it's working. And if you're following my process of using influences and spending time in process mode, trying to find your own unique voice, reaching this stage of compositional competence is absolutely essential. And it will mean that even though you're in process mode where there's a chance of failure, every piece is going to have a strong composition. So you're going to end up with a lot of sellable work, even though you're in process mode and you're exploring and trying to find that magical place where you've developed your own unique voice, where you love the process, you love the finished work, and enough of the public loves the finished work. Okay, so don't forget, click on the link below to get my cheat sheet, to get my 5 free chapters. If you really want to dig deep in composition, you can get my course at an amazing discount. And if you'd like me to keep putting out content like this, then you can do me a big favor by hitting the like button, subscribing, and clicking on the bell so you'll never miss one of my videos. I try to put out a new video every week, and it's all targeted towards artists who want to reach their maximum potential and ideally earn a decent living from the sale of their art. I'll see you next time.